Hello, it is Sarah Waggle, astrologer and leadership coach, or Astro Coach Sarah, here for Wellness Astrology, this time for the moon in Capricorn. If you haven't yet, do check out the sun and rising signs that will cover the upcoming new moon in Aquarius and the full moon in Leo. And I talk about and give examples as to what program of mine or service of mine that you could sign up for to get supported. But I did bring back the full chart reading. It's on my booking thingy link below. But I, of course, still have the sun and moon and rising reading, the astro goals, wellness astrology, and everything else. So all of that is still available for you. Of course, you can also sign up for my newsletter that I send out weekly. And what else? Sometimes the newsletter also gets the private channeling videos. I didn't release one last week, but there probably is good. I have had floods of channeling coming through. So I've been spending a lot of time writing, which is good. My books are getting written. I've made progress on both of them in the last week. So that's good. Anywho, okay, let's get into this moon in Capricorn. This is January 26th through the 28th. The darkening moon headed to the Aquarius new moon. And normally I call this the get shit done moon, but I feel like a lot of us are simply not motivated. So here's what I'm going to say. Know the difference between motivation and discipline. You're not going to get motivated probably until the end of February, if not well into April. Okay. And that has everything to do with astrologically Mars in retrograde. And it also has to do with you're not motivated because you don't like what's going on in the world. Okay. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say about everything that's going on in the world. One, we're getting a lot of stuff happening at once, right? We have a new administration in the United States. Things are going to, it's kind of like if you have Christmas lights is probably the perfect example. I'd use yarn, but I'm sure a lot of you don't know yarn, but Christmas lights and yarn could potentially be interchangeable. Like, and especially if you've seen like Christmas Vacation and he hands Russ the little knot, but it's like this enormous, huge like ball that fits in Russ's arm, basically. But if you've ever dealt with rope or yarn or Christmas lights that get knotted, you have to unravel them before you can use them and put them back together. Now, that's a literal example of a lot of things that are happening, not only in our government, but think about how this is happening. Like I'm experiencing this in an organization that I'm a part of, that I'm on the board for. Okay. We're having to unravel and undo a lot of stuff because there's been the same people in charge of the organization for 20 or 30 years and things weren't going smoothly. Things had not been really updated to like 21st century things. And so this is happening at multiple levels, as above, so below. Okay. So while it's nerve wracking and creates anxiety, be patient. Be very patient because it may seem unsettling right now for whatever, however it affects you in your life, right? But the other thing to consider is, does it actually affect your life? Okay. But however it may be affecting you in the moment, please understand that in order to have things go a different way, sometimes you have to go backwards first and then go forward. It's kind of like when you're healing or going through like transformation, you have to go backwards to your childhood, right? We think of that with astrology. We think about Chiron. You have to kind of look at your Chiron wound to see where kind of your biggest healing work is. We do this with coaching, with transformation, right? We've got to go back and look at, we've got to go back a little bit, right? You've got to tear down what you have learned, unlearn what you've been learning. Is same thing that's happening with the conditioning that we've all experienced, the programming that we've all experienced. We have to undo all of that. That's what's happening with government right now. That's what's happening in lots of organizations, with lots of businesses, with lots of different things. These things have to unravel. So it looks very unsettling in some cases. Some people may be cheering, but it looks unsettling in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, that's how it has to go. It has to get unsettled because it has to unravel before it can move forward in a bigger, better way. Okay. For those of you who may be dealing with like accessibility issues and things like that, I've been saying for 5 years, if you've been watching me long enough, I haven't always done astrology on this channel, but I've said it for 5 years. Accessibility's got to go through some part of this because, you know, as tech continues to advance rapidly, particularly the latter half of this year, accessibility is not going to be a forefront of a priority. So unfortunately, it will take a hit. Does it affect my daily life? Sometimes, and I curse it. But I also understand the long range process that, okay, I know it's not going to work perfectly right now because things have to unravel before it can come together and be an even better product for me in the long run, which may not be till 2030. And there's a patience part there. So be patient. Okay. That being said, think about your sovereignty, what choices that you can make. The one thing that I will say about, you know, how astrology is going forward is accountability and being responsible, being disciplined, actually like doing shit and getting shit done. So I guess that kind of comes back to this moon in Capricorn is you actually have to do shit. You actually have to get shit done. Okay. And that may mean that you don't get to party on Saturday night or you don't get to go do the fun thing. You have to do your work, right? Whether that's you have to study, you have to take a class, you have to, you know, write, you know, I mean, you've got to do these things, right? To get your work done. So there's a level of sovereignty and responsibility and discipline that's going to come as a result of everything that's happening. So in that respect, this is the get shit done moon. Check your emotions at the door. I know things may seem weird right now. We're finding out a lot of information and some of it's a little destabilizing. That's going to be par for the course in 2025. It ain't going to let up anytime soon. I guarantee it. This is just the beginning. So if you're allowing it to wreck you now, you're in trouble by the time we hit June, July, even March. March is going to be insane. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you are allowing shit to take you out of the game now, then you're going to need some kind of coach or something to keep your head in the game, right? You've got to ignore what's going on out there. And by the way, guys, I'm just as guilty. I've been scrolling way more than I would like to be scrolling, but that's okay. I consider it work because I have to feel the people and to make sense of the astrology. Is that legit? It's probably a bunch of bullshit, but anyway. All right, the other thing I want to mention with this Capricorn moon is Venus is moving into her pre-retrograde shadow. So we have Venus going into retrograde the beginning of March, but she's in her shadow now. And so between now and probably mid-April, not a good time to move forward in a relationship, whether you've been wanting to get with, you know, ask somebody out on a date or get engaged or you know, move in together or whatever. This is not a good time for relationships. Mars is in his not so favorable place. Venus is about to go retrograde in, yes, she's exalted, but she's about to go retrograde. So not a good time to get going on relationships. I would say wait till the dust settles, wait till Mars gets back into Leo and Venus stations direct in April before taking action on relationships. So if you've been trying to ask somebody out, work on, you know, I would hold off on relationship-y things. So and that could be for anything, right? That doesn't have to be romantic. It could be like getting into a relationship with a collaborator or something like that. So relationships applies to everything. Right now is not a good time. It's probably not even a good time to start a new project, like revisit old projects. Like I'm about to relaunch my blog. I've been working on relaunching my newsletter and things like that. These are all old projects that I already had things in place to do. So, but I'm not starting any new projects, right? Putting energy towards the books I've already got written, but not starting a new book, right? This isn't a good time to do that. So, anywho, all right, I think that's what I got for the astrology. Wellness wise, ground, get grounded, silent meditations, yoga, get your body moving, move this energy through it. Because if it is emotionally getting to you right now, move the emotions through. If that means you need to cry, if that means you need to be pissed, get those emotions through your physical body. Okay. Find a way to release them. Find a way to move through them, get yourself grounded, whether that's you need to drink like, herbal tea or, use some essential oils on your feet to ground you in, do some yoga, do some connecting with the earth, those sorts of things. Get yourself outside, all of that. So, anywho, let's see what's up with the tarot. You're going to have to take responsibility for your spiritual practices, your physical fitness practices, your emotional well-being practices, your mental practice. You have to take responsibility for these things. And if that means that you need to get a little introspective for a while to get yourself in check, then that's what that means. So I feel like 2025 is going to be I said it about 2024. It's like a make or break it year, but 2025 is like, no, there's no make or break it. You've got to be disciplined in getting things done. So let's see what's up with the tarot. Doo-doo-doo. All right, we got the Hierophant in reverse. Ew. Yeah, like there's no commitment, hesitation and commitment. I mean, I like this for the Venus part because it's like, not committing to a new relationship, not committing. But I also think it's like it's not committing to your authentic, like Aquarius unique, or I suppose even your Leo uniqueness. So I like it for the Venus retrograde part, like not committing to a new relationship. I think that's good right now. But like if it's not being committed to like your authentic being, your authentic self, like that's a whole different. And the sun in reverse. Okay, well, this is because we're in a dark moon heading to a new moon. Uranus is also sitting still, getting ready to station direct shortly. And so this could be a really rough week with, being the light for yourself. I think some people feel like this is a very dark time. And I'm sad for that because this is not a dark time. There's tons of light being flooded to our planet and it's destabilizing because we are not used to it. I also think this might be like I know somebody who has an opportunity to start traveling, and they're terrified. And I think that's what these are. This is like fear of being seen, fear of showing who you really are. And I totally get that. If you watched my Sun and Rising Signs video, I did a little blurb at the end about like what I've been going through and like the self-doubt and the like all of that I've been experiencing with all of this. And I feel like, take the time to really tune into yourself because again, we've been getting like floods of intuition. I think somebody mentioned that they were having like vivid dreams. That's totally normal right now. We've got a lot of Pisces energy that is, affecting our subconscious, which is our dream state. But I think with all of the light that's coming in, like there's so much change happening at once and so much being revealed at once. It's literally overwhelming and can cause you to dim out. And especially if you're somebody who has a dominant water, dominant earth, like this energy we're experiencing right now can burn you out quick, right? I was working on a project the other day and I went to lay down and like 4 hours later, like my mom called and she's like, "Are you sleeping?" And I was like, "Oh, I mean, I slept hard for 4 hours." And it was because I had been working, tediously working on a project and it just burned me out. And so that's easy to happen. And you've got to be compassionate with yourself that like it's okay, that things are going to easily burn you out and things that you maybe don't expect would burn you out are going to burn you out. And you've got to be okay with like taking the rest, taking the nap, I don't really shame myself for napping because I nap almost every day. I know people that don't nap, but and have suddenly started napping. Um, but you got to kind of be a little self-compassionate and then be okay with like working at 2 a.m. because yes, I've done that too. Last night I was up writing and I looked down and it was like 5 a.m. and I was like, holy crap. Got up, took a shower, went to bed, got up today, went outside. It was we're finally out of the insanity of the cold weather. Yes, this winter definitely has me rethinking my life choices. So we'll see where that leads. All right, let's see what's up with the dark magic, MAGICK, because you a magical being of light. You are. I hope if I unlock the phone. What we got? Okay, mountain. You are supported. Yeah, 100%. Sorry, I know the glossy finish does not help these cards much. There we go. You are supported. Yeah. Know that there is a greater power, right? Have faith in a bigger power than yourself. There's a bigger power. Yes, there are dark forces. There's always going to be light and dark forces. You gotta be okay with that because that's the way it is. Energy is light and dark. But there's a greater power working for your higher good. And particularly, I'll talk about it more when we get to the new moon in Aquarius, but we're heading into the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac. We went from the year of the dragon to the year of the snake. Transformation is not an option. Pluto's in Aquarius, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more planets changing signs this year. Transformation is not an option. It is now a requirement. So, anywho, I hope that's helpful. Please hit the like button. Please drop me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. How's this energy going for you? I hope that you're doing well, and I'm wishing you all the best. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.